How? In this chapter 1 we'll answer the question how. They say, do this, be diligent, and you will succeed. But what to do when it doesn't work out, no matter how hard you try? You understand everything and do it right, but no way. As they say, it's easy to say, but it's hard to get results. A lot of techniques and affirmations have been invented, and it all works, but for a while, and then you need to start over or continue. There is not always a desire to do this, but I really want to change my life. What to do? The very awareness of the presence of this issue is a big step towards change and the desire to work on yourself. This understanding that the old installations no longer work does not lead to the expected result. It's time to change everything. All of the above in this book gives an understanding of the structure of the world. There is power in knowledge, because ignorance breeds uncertainty. And if we are undecided, we do not know what to do and where to go. What is mindfulness for? In order to, moving by inertia, not to fall into vortex energy funnels. On the way to awareness, we encounter certain difficulties and resistances that give rise to doubts. Then questions arise that begin with the word how. These are the how. That most often excite people. How to deal with fears. How to get rid of your ego. How to increase your self-esteem and regain self-confidence. How not to be irritated by the actions of other people. How to deal with anxiety. How not to get hung up and let go of the situation. How to love yourself. How to open cash flow. How to meet true love. How to hear your inner voice and make the right decision. How to regain the desire to live. That's how it works. How to deal with fears. To begin with, answer yourself the following question. What is fear and what generates it? When are we scared? More often than not, when we don't know what's around the corner in a dark alley. Essentially, fear causes the unknown. Hence the answer, in order to overcome fear in yourself, you need to find the right information that generates fear at the moment. For example, if we meet a wild beast in the forest, then we are not afraid of the beast itself, but of what it supposedly can do to us. But, when a hunter goes into the forest with a gun and has a specific plan of action and adheres to it, then the beast is already afraid of the hunter. It's the same in life. Often we are afraid and do not know what we know. What fears do we most often have? Fear of loneliness, fear that it will not work out, fear for loved ones and relatives, fear of the future, and so on. These are all separate topics. The vibrations of fear are always the same, independent of the cause. Fear is generated by low vibrational waves. If we don't dwell on them, they just go away, but if we attach too much importance, focus our attention on anxiety, then the vibrations of fear grow in a vortex and gain strength. Fear does not need to be fought, it must be allowed to pass through us and dissolve. I accept my fear, I understand its cause, I let it go. Take the vibrations of fear as a signal to be attentive, and then everything will go according to your scenario. After all, often we fail not because the plan was initially a failure, but because in the process someone imposed their opinion on us and we listened. And then, the same people tell us, I told you. Fears are contagious. We become infected with other people's fears, mistaking them for our own. Learn to hear yourself. Fear goes away when we know what is happening and what to do about it. If you found the reason, but it didn't get easier, then you haven't fully decided what to do with the information received. It seems to you that nothing depends on you, but we always determine our tactics of behavior ourselves, and this helps to calm down and act. And when we are on the move, the fear recedes. How to get rid of your ego. We don't need to get rid of the ego, we need it. It needs to be pacified, educated. When does the ego make itself felt? Then, when something does not go according to plan, does not meet our criteria. When the people around us do not share our point of view. When we are told something that we do not want to hear. When we are told what to do. The ego resents and takes a defensive stance. A wave of indignation passes through us. But, after all, the ego only gives a signal that someone is trying to influence us, passing off his position in relation to the situation as correct and the only true one. You need to take this into account, and not react instantly and spontaneously. Thank you, ego, I heard you, now I will do the right thing. There is no need to argue and defend your point of view, you just need to take it into account. If you track this moment and stop the instinctive reaction, you will definitely make the right decision. First, you will understand that they have just tried to manipulate you by imposing their opinion. Secondly, there comes an understanding of what is important to you and what is not. Thirdly, you understand that everything works differently for everyone. Fourthly, you can analyze the structure of thinking of your environment and thereby get rid of negativity. So, how to work with the ego? Answer, fix, catch the wave of indignation, stop by slowly and deeply breathing and let go. When thoughts about the situation come back again and again, reconfigure them from criticism to analyzing the situation in a positive and useful aspect for you. Make it a habit. Self-centered people are weak people, they constantly make mistakes, but they teach others to live. Thus, they assert themselves at someone else's expense. Do you want to be like that? Of course not. Confident and self-sufficient people do not need to prove anything to anyone. They just know what's right for them. They listen to other people's positions with respect and remain unminded. About how a person speaks and what he talks about, you can understand what place in life he determines for himself. And this is very important knowledge. How to increase your self-esteem and regain self-confidence. Did someone help lower your self-esteem, lost self-confidence? Wow! First, let's figure out how it happened. What happened? This is important, because the very understanding of the situation is the way out of this labyrinth. You consider yourself not a beautiful enough person, not smart enough, you do not have charm, charisma, and other templates of the ideal imposed on you. There are no criteria for beauty, they were invented by people. There is no limit to the mind, we are constantly learning. There is individuality in every person, and this is the charm of each individual. There is no need to be like others, because any copy, even a very good one, is just a copy. Free yourself from communicating with people with whom brings you sadness and disappointment. This is very harmful and leaves a negative imprint on all areas of your life. No one wants toxic relationships, they lower self-esteem. So, no matter what you do, you are always evaluated on a minimum scale. First of all, you need to understand that those people who criticize you, find fault with you, or condemn you do it out of self-doubt. What they say about you, in fact, they say about themselves. They impose their doubts on you. They will never admit it in themselves, because it takes courage. Courage. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Self-pity burns you from the inside out. Stop being offended by people who have insulted you, you yourself provoke them to such an attitude towards you. Don't get angry, you're only hurting yourself. It's a waste of time and energy. Thus, you spent all your energy on empty experiences and brought yourself to depression. And here you are at the very bottom. It's time to pull yourself together. You are not a victim, no one has the right to evaluate you, you are responsible only to yourself. The people you looked up to are full of their own quirks, fears, and frustrations. They're just human beings, just like you, no worse or better. They're just different. You don't need to prove anything, it's stupid. Stop evaluating yourself and other people, then confidence will return to you. Remove the importance of how you are evaluated from the outside, what they say, what they think. Who cares, they still won't understand the motives of your actions in a way they never will be you. You are you, in one copy. So, be yourself. Understanding all this is the answer.